Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the Macaranda podcast. I am your host, Eleanor Evans Medina. I am so excited to have you here for a really beautiful conversation with one of my dear friends and clients and Burning Man goers, fellow burners, and a student of mine, and someone who's been in my life since the beginning of my practice, Kate Pauley. Kate is a licensed marriage and family therapist and a ceremonialist, really offering ceremony really everywhere she goes, is how I see her. And I'm really grateful to have her on the podcast today. We're talking about psychedelics and motherhood, and specifically Kate's story of how this work has shaped her and the mother that she is becoming and who she has turned into as she has become a mother. We cover a lot of ground, mom guilt, identity or loss of identity, trusting of ourselves, of the partner, what it means to bring ceremony into this early season of motherhood and the value of that, and why she keeps coming back to the Macaranda method and medicine work years later. Welcome, Kate.
Thank you, Eleanor. Thanks for having me.
Of course. I am so grateful and excited and honored to have this conversation with you
Me
today.
too. Me too. It's such an important topic and something that I'm so passionate about. I'm really excited to share.
hmm So we'll start with how we met.
Great.
How did I find your new moon ceremony?
We always go back and forth on this
I don't
on
even.
how we actually got connected. And so let's just leave it at the universe somehow brought us together.
Let's
I
go with
think that I saw an Instagram post that you made back in like 2018, I want to say.
uh-huh.
2018, 2019. You were doing therapy out of your van, Black Beauty,
Yeah.
doing it in nature. And I was like, I want to do that. I need to get connected with this woman. And so I think that I messaged you and maybe just who knows why, but invited you to a moon ceremony,
Yeah.
new moon circle that I was hosting.
hmm
And you came.
I sure did. And I think I mentioned that I was working with psychedelics.
Yeah, I think so too. And I was very curious at that point. I had recreational experiences with psychedelics that changed my life at that point, but I had never even considered using them in a therapeutic way.
hmm
And so somehow after that, we started working together.
And you signed up for the Macaranda method.
Yes, I did your 12-week Macaranda Method program
hmm
where we met every week for an hour and a half.
Yep.
And that was the preparation work to get me to be ready to sit in a psychedelic ceremony with you.
Yep.
And by that point, I was in school for marriage and family therapy.
Right.
And I was curious about psychedelics for two reasons. One, to see how they could be beneficial for me as a client, but also from this lens of being a therapist and potentially wanting to add psychedelics into my practice.
hmm
And so we created a an offering. You created this for me specifically
hmm
so that I could explore what psychedelics would be like in the context of couples therapy
hmm
because I'm a couples therapist and in the individual sense. So I did a couples ceremony with my husband.
hmm
And then I did an individual ceremony with you in
And
Mexico.
and at that time, right, I was living in Mexico.
Yeah. So we flew to Mexico
Yes.
to come and do this. And it was one of the most profound experiences of my life.
Uh-huh.
And was what really started to prepare me for this motherhood journey.
hmm
There were a couple of things that, as I reflect on my transition to motherhood, those two ceremonies were incredibly important for me.
Hmm.
And I actually got pregnant like 2 months later
Hmm.
after we did the ceremony.
Yeah. Yep.
So, interestingly, in my individual ceremony, I had this vision of myself connected from my uterus
Hmm.
to the tree of life
Hmm.
and had a spirit baby come to me.
Hmm. And this was with mushrooms. You were taking
Psilocybin. Yep.
psilocybin mushrooms. Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yes. Connected to the tree.
Tree of life. I was on the ground in the fetal position, just having this beautiful experience of knowing that I'm becoming a mother. And I remember crying and just, I had the sweetest soul come to me, this baby girl who has not manifested into my life yet, but maybe soon.
We'll see.
We'll see. Um, Come to me and she had a clear name. And it was just this wild experience of, I sensed her as a friend to all and this queen being.
Hmm.
And do you remember the next day, I looked up the name that she presented to me, and the definition on Google was literally friend, comma, queen. I was just like, what?
Can't make it up.
Yeah, so that was pretty wild and just kind of a cool story about how that initial experience um, related to becoming a mother
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
But a couple of things that I really want to say about that experience is that doing psychedelics before becoming a mother was also really impactful for me. We're going to spend the majority of the time talking about my experience with psychedelics after becoming a mother, but there were a couple of takeaways from those experiences that really started to shape me as a mother
Hmm.
and really carried me through my whole pregnancy and early postpartum days. And the first thing that really came up in my couple ceremony was that I became so clear that I was nitpicking my husband, John,
Hmm.
who's an absolutely amazing human being and does not deserve to be nitpicked.
Hmm.
But I had this whole realization about how critical I was of him
Hmm.
and how much I just harped on these little things that didn't feel perfect to me. And I had this moment in ceremony where I was like, I'm not going to do that anymore. And I was really able to stop. And little did I know how important that would be in becoming a mother because when you have a baby, you're both learning
Mm.
how to parent at the same time. And there were so many opportunities for me to say, you're not doing it right.
Hmm.
And I didn't. And that,
And I want to slow this moment down because this is something that I really saw you do. It's like you saw that you were nitpicking and then you just stopped.
yeah, that's the power of psychedelics. You know, it's like they enabled me to, in my brain, like stop going down that default mode network that was criticism.
Right. And you brought that awareness forward.
Yes.
The psychedelics gave you the insight
Yep. And
uh,
helped me to reprogram my brain.
with your conscious effort
Yes. Yeah.
because
They don't do it for you.
they don't do it for you.
Yeah.
They will shine that flashlight and once you see, then you see.
Yeah.
But I think I see in the psychedelic movement this like the mushrooms healed me or the MDMA healed me, whatever. True, in some capacity. It shows us that there is another path.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
you're the one who, in all those small little moments of when you could have been nitpicking your John,
Yeah. Yeah.
you didn't.
Yeah. And the other thing that I'll say is that they create the neuroplasticity in the brain for you to have that window of practice. And we were in Mexico for another couple days, and I really committed to stopping and
Mm-hmm.
practice that
Yes.
and stopped, and that really helped it to ingrain and become a part of, I just don't do it anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And let's just break down the word neuroplasticity
Yeah,
for
great.
those who don't know. The brain is flexible and we're always learning. And the neuroplasticity basically means that the brain can change. And so, what Kate is talking about specifically after a psychedelic experience, there's what's called the critical learning period. And it's usually, right after a psychedelic experience, up to
7 days?
72 hours is like really intense. The next week, 2 weeks, you're still very much in the remembering the learning. But there's really this critical time. That's what you said you were in Mexico a couple days after.
Yep.
You practiced that.
Yep.
Okay, I see how he's doing this thing. We're traveling. Let it go,
Yeah.
right?
Let it go.
Let it go.
Yeah.
And love him.
Oh, I know. And love
Because
him.
he's
Yeah, he's
amazing.
amazing. I know. Yeah, that was, and outside of motherhood and parenting, that has been transformational for our relationship and has just, I sometimes describe it as like we had a great relationship to begin with, and this just made it exceptional. I
Mm-hmm,
mean,
mm-hmm,
and we haven't gone back. He had his own set of learnings and takeaways, and
mm-hmm,
it just really transformed our relationship.
mm-hmm.
And it stayed that way. And it's just been so nice and so pleasant and enjoyable. And we've been so kind to one another, even through the really hard days of becoming new parents, which
Right.
are challenging. And we had moments, don't get me wrong. Like we had moments,
For
but
sure.
but they were kind.
Mm-hmm,
They were kind.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So that was a huge piece. And then
mm-hmm,
the other takeaway that I had, and this was from our individual ceremony, was just how much I was doubting myself.
mm-hmm.
And I was really able to see, again, like you said, the medicine can show you. I was really able to see how much I was doubting myself over every little thing, down to buying a piece of jewelry. Is this cool? Do I like this? What are other people going to think? I mean, just it was
Mm-hmm.
nonstop. And I remember this moment where you asked me, do you have to do that?
What was it? What was I?
Do you have to second guess
Oh,
yourself? Do you have to question yourself like that? And I mean, it blew my mind. I was like, no, I don't. And that moment on psychedelics was so powerful
mm-hmm,
to the point where, again, I was able to just stop doing that. I
mm-hmm,
don't do that anymore.
mm-hmm.
Thank God.
Right. How exhausting.
How exhausting.
And the amount of people who struggle with indecision. Like if you're
Totally.
out there struggling with, do I like this? And is this me?
What
And
will other people think? Yeah,
it's a lot.
it's tiring.
You know.
Yeah, it's tiring.
Yeah. And
And then becoming a new mom, I mean, you have to make thousands of decisions
all the
basically
time.
every day.
Exactly.
And so I really had to trust myself all through the pregnancy, too. I mean,
Hmm. What do I eat?
exactly. Should I drink the cup of coffee? How do I feel about that? I mean, just everything. There's so many decisions that you have to make.
Right. Where are you gonna have the
The
baby?
baby.
And how is that gonna look? And how many times do you need to go to the doctor? Do you need to go to the doctor?
Exactly. I mean, it's
Which
endless.
which which hormone pills, do you need to be
Which
taking?
prenatals am I
That's,
taking? Exactly.
that's
Yeah.
what
I mean, there's thousands of brands. And so
I know.
I couldn't be in that space, and I didn't know how much I needed that change
Hmm.
before it happened.
Right.
I knew that I needed it. I wasn't aware of the magnitude and the impact that it would have on my life by stopping doing that. especially then moving into motherhood, where the trust in myself became just that much more important.
Yeah, well said.
So, yeah, that was the initial work that we did together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then, just to speak to this last piece of the other thing that the psychedelics really did for me was start to connect me to my lineage and to the generations of mothers that came before me.
Mm-hmm.
And this actually is jumping a little bit into our apprenticeship, which we'll get to. Um, but we did this other ceremony that was psychedelic free. It was just a ceremony that you led for me and five other women, where we connected to our lineage through what's called a land offering.
Mm-hmm.
And I really started to look at my lineage of mothers and start to identify, what have these mothers before me been doing that I want to continue?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe what patterns do I want to stop? And so psychedelics just opened all of that for me to really start to think beyond myself
Yeah.
and start to really feel connected to the generations of women that had come before me, to start to feel connected to the earth, to really start to learn from her and her wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
They just really changed how I live,
Mm-hmm.
almost completely. I feel very different from the person I was before having introduced psychedelics to my life.
Yeah. I think a lot of us feel that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's like life before psychedelics
Mm-hmm.
and after.
Yeah.
They are different.
Yeah. I'm so different.
So am I.
Yeah. Yeah.
So am I.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'd love to take us back, Kate, for you to share with maybe any new moms out there who have struggled with some of the challenges that can come up
Yeah.
during motherhood,
Yep.
especially those early years. And if you can talk to us about some of the groups that you ran,
Mm-hmm.
which and that you were a part of,
Yep.
your Mindful Mamas group,
Yeah.
and there were themes that came up
Yes.
from new moms.
Yeah. And I want to shout out my friend Cameron Joseph, who started this group, Mindful Mamas, that I got to be a part of initially, and then started collaborating with her on when she went out on maternity leave. And that's been a really amazing collaboration for me. Um, but just to back up a little bit and share, I mean, I have a 2-year-old son. His
Now,
now,
hmm
yeah, his name is Sullivan. We call him Sully. And he's who allowed me to become a mom. And so I'm still in the new motherhood stage. A lot of people say that um, the postpartum journey is really your first 2 years
mm,
of motherhood.
I've heard
And
so.
so I'm still in it. I mean,
Uh-huh.
he's 2 years and 2 months, like maybe freshly out of it. I'm feeling a lot different than I did in those early days. Um, but yeah, we started to, and I started to really see a lot of the themes and challenges that impact new mothers really show up in my life. And around the time that I became a new mom, I joined this group called Mindful Mamas, where we talked a lot about a lot of these themes. And being in that community was so impactful for me to have just the validation that I wasn't alone in a lot of this stuff. And then about 8 months later, you started the apprenticeship that I joined that was a year-long study of ceremony,
Mm-hmm.
both psychedelic and non-psychedelic ceremony.
Right.
And so I'll share a little bit about some of the challenges that I was seeing as a new mom and how these different groups and the apprenticeship really supported me through it. And the first thing that I feel like is just so huge and impacts so many mothers is when we transition from maiden to mother, we go through a complete identity change. And it is
Mm-hmm.
significant.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's ranges of identity loss that people feel. And I'll say that I had a lot of support. We had done the psychedelic work before. I had been in therapy for many years. I mean, I had done a lot of work.
You were in school to
I was
you
in
had
school to be a therapist. I had just
you
graduated.
graduated. Yeah.
Yeah, I had
Mm-hmm.
just graduated. I did a lot of maiden to mother study as I was pregnant. So for me, the identity loss wasn't um, like a total deconstruction of self, but I certainly experienced questioning, well, who am I
Yeah.
now?
Uh-huh.
I mean, and what do I even like to do? What did I like to do? Where did I find joy before? You know, you just, I found that I got so deep into this motherhood well where everything seemed to be about the motherhood experience. And every other part of my life was just gone, seemingly.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to find myself again. And this is where community, exploring these themes together, sitting in ceremony with psychedelics or without, became so important to me
Mm-hmm.
because ceremony gave me space to quiet my mind and discover myself again.
Mm-hmm. Almost like discover yourself anew,
Yeah, totally.
right?
Yes. There are parts that are changed forever.
Right.
Many of them, all of them maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, I'm a totally different person. And I see the world in such a different way. I have a motherhood lens all the time.
Right.
So
Right.
it's just different. It's a totally different perspective. Um, and the other thing that I really experienced was loneliness in motherhood. Even though I had friends who were going through the same thing at the same time, I was so blessed that one of my best friends had a baby 9 days after me.
Mm-hmm.
That was a godsend to me. And I had a few other friends who had recently become mothers and were becoming mothers shortly after me. And so that was really supportive for me, but not everybody has that.
Yeah.
And even so, with that, there were many days where I just felt lonely in the experience.
Mm-hmm.
You're spending all day with a baby who doesn't really give you much feedback,
Right.
you know? And so there's also a lot of time for you to be in your head and thinking and yeah, and just getting kind of caught up in story and what do I do here? And so having ceremony to give me space to clear all of that out and connect with other women specifically was so important for me.
Mm-hmm.
Really helped me to feel connected and a part of something and um, was, yeah, really beneficial to just getting through that period that can be really dark for a lot of women.
Yeah.
And I had moments of darkness myself.
Right. Right.
So,
Such as life.
yeah. Yeah, and knowing that you're not alone is like such
Mm-hmm.
that you're not alone in it is such an important thing when you're in those darker moments.
Right. Yeah. I'm glad that you were able to have those friends and the apprenticeship
Yeah,
too
yes, that was consistent.
that was consistent to check in with
Yeah.
and be with you
Yes.
in the darker moments
Yep.
and in the bright ones too,
Mm-hmm.
and in the evolving
Yeah.
that you were becoming,
Yes.
that you were in.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah, it was a journey for
yeah.
sure.
And the other thing, I remember thinking about inviting you into the apprenticeship, and I basically thought, well, I I'm pretty much creating this for Kate. Like there was one woman, Lindsay Lynch, who was on the podcast recently. We were talking about psychedelics and neuroscience, but reached out to me and said, Eleanor, I've got to study with you. And she had come to one of our Earth circles. And then I said, well, Kate has said something similar.
Yeah.
But she's had a baby.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how
Mm-hmm.
that's going to go. And I remember talking to you about it. And you basically said, I'll figure it out.
Yeah. And I think that that is actually another lesson that I really took from psychedelics. I mean, it started with this trusting of myself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they also really gave me this courage that, like, I know how to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Part of that is the ancestral wisdom. And a lot of it really is that trust in myself that, yeah, I knew I could figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
I trusted myself in that. And you're also a safe space for me. I knew that this container would be really supportive to make it work for me and my child.
Yeah.
And I did just figure it out. I really, as I committed to the apprenticeship and the first weekend that we spent together, we did like 5 hours of a ceremony without medicine. This was the land offering that we talked about. I brought Sully.
Mm-hmm. And I wanted you to,
Yeah.
you know,
And this is like one of the things that I feel really passionate about as a mom is creating more spaces where moms and babies can come together.
right.
And so I am so grateful that you created this space to be that way for me.
Of course. And because that's what I want.
Yeah, we need it. I mean,
As I become a mother,
yeah.
I want to bring my babies will be in ceremony with me.
Yes. And Sully has sat in several ceremonies with me, and oh my gosh, what a gift for him. What a gift for me to have had him there, crawling around, making noise. I mean, but a lot of the times, also
He
really
tunes in.
getting that we're in
Oh yeah,
ceremony.
he gets it.
I don't know if you remember in Mexico, we did a sacred cacao circle,
Hmm.
and Sully had been napping for the first,
This was during the apprenticeship in Mexico, just for
yes,
the timeline
yes,
for people.
second trip to Mexico with Eleanor for medicine work.
And I will say, I want you to share about this, but when we are talking about several different psychedelic medicines, and partially I lived and worked in Mexico was because of the legality challenges in the United States.
Yeah,
We're now able to operate from a legal model, but back then we were working underground,
yeah.
and
And I think it might be important to note that the entire apprenticeship that we did was legal use with psilocybin
mhm,
as well, because the laws had changed by this point.
right,
So just important to note
yeah,
that.
hmm
Um, but yeah, in Mexico, when Sully woke up from his nap, we were mid sacred cacao circle. We had already drank the cacao, which is not a psychedelic medicine if you're unfamiliar with cacao. It's chocolate
and a heart opener.
and a heart opening medicine. And yeah, there's a lot that I could say
Yeah.
about cacao, but he woke up and he is a mover and a shaker. He never sits still for more than 2 minutes, I want to say. And we were in a meditation, and I got him and I laid him on my chest, and he meditated with us for 45 minutes. I mean, it was unheard of. I was so impacted by that. And there have been other moments where he has come to ceremony and it's like he remembers.
Hmm. I mean, yeah,
He's tuned in. He knows.
exactly.
So, yeah.
And the other thing, you were gonna talk about also the challenges that came up when we
Oh,
first of all said, let's all go to Mexico during the apprenticeship. Also, we should fill people in on what the apprenticeship is.
yeah, great.
Um, but go ahead and tell your version of like, oh God.
Signing up for, or like when we brought up Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in our first apprenticeship meeting, which just the quick backstory on the apprenticeship is that it was a year-long program that myself and five other women sat with Eleanor in to study psychedelics, ceremony, and ourselves. And in the first ceremony that we had together, the land offering, we were also planning at what we wanted the apprenticeship to look like. And Sully at this point was like 8 years old, 8 months old.
Hmm.
And one of the women was planning on living in Mexico for a month. And so she was suggested, why don't we all come to Mexico for a ceremony? And I'm sitting there like, I have an 8-month-old child. Like, how am I going to go to Mexico with these women? Do I leave my son behind? That doesn't feel good, but I really want to do this and I'm invested. And so I just committed
Hmm.
to bringing him to Mexico with us and said
And
I would figure it
and
out.
we're like, Kate, we got you. We're all really responsible
Yeah.
women who can step up.
And what a gift I thought it was to have the opportunity to raise Sully for a week with five other women, six other women, including you,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I mean, it was so special. And one of the other women in the apprenticeship has a 16-year-old daughter
Hmm.
who was going to be on spring break
Hmm.
that week. And
Hmm.
so she brought her daughter to Mexico
With us.
with us
Hmm.
to help me out with Sully
As the babysitter.
as the babysitter and also get to be present for ceremony herself.
Yes.
I mean, it was another example of mother child doing this work together, and it was so powerful.
I'm doing a little jig, like a little dance inside my inner mother, right? I'm not a mother yet. I mean, I'm on the path.
And you are.
I
Yeah.
am.
Mm-hmm.
I've been pregnant before, had a miscarriage last year. Um, and still there's this desire that I see in wanting to be doing this across generations.
Yeah.
I didn't have this kind of ceremony growing up,
Me neither. Me neither.
and I feel like we're learning it now,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to pass it down to my children.
Yeah. Yeah. The power of ceremony is so significant to me. I mean, there's so many things that have changed my life, and it's hard to say, well, what comes from what, but ceremony is part of it.
Uh-huh.
And, I want to just take this moment actually to name that not all psychedelic ceremony or not all psychedelic work is the same, is created equal. And not all of it includes the ceremony component. I think that there's a big push to really incorporate ceremony into psychedelic work, but I do want to just pay homage to you that you incorporate the two so beautifully,
Thanks, Kate.
that your psychedelic expertise is so profound, but then the way that you weave in ceremony and the importance of that to this work is also what has really changed my life.
Mm.
Um,
When you say that, first of all, thank you
yeah. Mm-hmm.
for the acknowledgement.
Mm-hmm.
With someone listening who's never sat in ceremony before,
Mm,
what does that mean to
mm,
you?
yeah. So sitting in ceremony to me is bringing ritual, reverence, spaciousness, intentionality, and connection into a contained space, whether that's a certain amount of time or, um, yeah, a specific location or space.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and to just kind of paint the picture of what ceremony might look like I often think that I picture ceremony as typically women sitting in a circle, taking some time to meditate and go inward, having some sort of ritual prayer that really brings the sacred in,
Mm-hmm.
sharing, connecting with some sort of prompt or theme, sometimes singing,
Mm-hmm.
um, and an intentional closing. And so, we also have so many ceremonies in our lives that are common, like a birthday can be a ceremony, and a wedding and a funeral. And um, those might be other references of ceremony, but I think really what we're speaking to is this gathering, an intentional time to
Mm-hmm.
go inward
Mm-hmm. And connect, yeah.
and connect.
Yeah, really beautifully said.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And connect to self, one another, and the earth. Those feel like really what I connect with in ceremony.
And me too.
Yeah.
Which is always what I lead. That's always what I end up leading.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it feels to me like an ancient return
Yeah.
in
100%.
bringing ceremony back in and bringing family to be a part of it,
Oh, so special.
right? Because we have been collecting and gathering as humanity for all of time around a sacred fire,
Mm-hmm.
around song, around drumming, around music and movement and a sacrament, right?
Yep.
And I really learned how to pray in church, and I really learned how to be non-dogmatic
Mm.
about my prayer with the support of psychedelics,
Mm.
um, and with studying religion.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the University of Denver for my undergrad, and I majored in psychology. Knew I was going to be a therapist. Knew I could go so deep with people so fast.
Mm-hmm.
And I also knew that I double minored in philosophy and religion.
Mm.
And I just remember studying all the different religions and thinking, they're all saying the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's all just at the heart. They're just saying to love each other.
Mm.
And I
Yep.
remember every time I sit with psychedelics, that is the message that I get. If I'm sitting with MDMA, if I'm sitting with ketamine, if I'm sitting with psilocybin, if I'm sitting with cannabis, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm sitting with ayahuasca in the jungles of Peru, if I'm sitting with 5-MeO-DMT, like literally all these medicines that I have really wonderfully profound relationship with. LSD, same thing. Love each
Yep.
other.
Yep.
Love each other.
Yeah.
Love yourself and orient that way.
Yeah.
That
Be
message that
love.
be it. Live
Yeah.
it. Stop nitpicking your partner.
Yep. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
It's
Yes.
those and I feel grateful that that has been the orientation that I've found,
Yeah.
and that's also been the orientation that I teach.
Yes. And I can speak to that as well, that has been one of the biggest takeaways for me from sitting in psychedelic ceremony as well, is this idea that we are all divine love. We are all love at the center. And being in this earth school, we get distracted
Yeah, we
from that.
do. We sure do.
And one of our primary jobs is to come back to being love. And I can't tell you how beneficial that knowing that I have that inside me, that I can return to that at any moment, is in motherhood. I had this moment the other day where Sully was just fussing and crying for what seemed to me like no reason. And I had compassion for a while, and then I didn't.
Right.
And I kind of lost it and snapped at him and was like, stop crying. Like, stop.
Uh-huh.
There's nothing to be crying about. And I was pretty short, and I, regretted that choice after. And, what can you do? I did my best to reconnect with him, to apologize, to talk about it. But I just so happened to be sitting in ceremony that night, and we did a sacred cacao circle. And I really got this clear message from cacao once again
Hmm.
to just be love. And I thought, I did some journaling after and thought about what would it have been like in that moment if I had just loved Sully?
Hmm.
If I were able to just hold that, to just hold love for him.
Hmm.
And we've had a number, he's in his, what people call terrible twos. I actually personally am loving this time, so I wouldn't call it the terrible twos. But he's in this time where he is very independent and wants things his way. And if they're not that way, it's a meltdown.
Hmm.
And since I had this experience with Mama Cacao, I have really been able to return to that holding of love. And it has
Nice.
it's been so much better for me.
Right. Of
Let
course.
alone him. It's
Right.
been way better for him, but also it's been so much better for me. It's felt so much better. And I just am so grateful to psychedelics for teaching me
Hmm.
how to show up as love
Hmm.
for the people that I love. I
Right.
That's it to me.
Which then is the ripple out into the world.
Yeah.
So often there's this conversation that I'm having with my clients and my friends and my family. What do we do right now with the difficulty and the turmoil in our world?
Right.
And well, we just have to
Yeah.
love,
Love the people you're with.
love the people
Yeah.
around us, and then that ripple effect goes on out.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just does.
Yes. Yeah, and to be able to offer that as a mother feels so significant. It really feels purposeful
Yeah.
to show my son how to be in love as much of the time as he possibly can.
By you being that,
Being, yes, by demonstrating it.
right?
Yeah.
It's the best teachers.
Yeah.
Teach us by being that way.
Yeah.
My husband, John, he always says, don't talk about it, be about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like just be loving,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Um, the other piece that feels important to touch on is I think for the moms out there who are pregnant, going through the hormonal shifts,
Yeah.
the dark nights
Yep.
that can come, um, to remind us all that they still do come.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The heart, it's love is amazing, and we're so grateful for it. And we go through it.
Yeah. And the hormonal changes that come with pregnancy, birth, postpartum are intense, or at least they were for me.
I mean, when I became pregnant,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it is the on ramp was crazy.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I was like, I'm gonna be such a great pregnant woman. That's what I thought to myself.
Uh-huh. I
I
know.
was like, I'm gonna handle this. I've been working out,
Yep.
preparing my body
Preparing
physically.
your
I've
mind.
been meditating. I've
Yep.
been working, doing the psychedelic work. I've
Yep.
been, and I want to just shout out to the meditation practice because it has been, I mean, the meditation with the psychedelic practice, and the third one is the somatic understanding of the body. Like those three things
Yeah.
in the Makaranda method are critical
Game changers. Yeah.
because if we're not aware of the thoughts that we're having, then the thoughts will rule us
Yep.
versus us being in control of the one thing that we actually are in control over, which is our thoughts.
Yep. Exactly.
So anyway, but just the pummel that I felt. I
Yep.
mean, I remember not being able to cook dinner
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was only pregnant for 7 weeks. And I had just had to lay there.
Yeah.
I felt like a loser. I was
It's
like,
so
I
hard.
can't do anything at all.
It's so hard. And it rocks you out of who you typically are. It's like that, it's like almost that first identity
Yeah.
loss.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, who
Who am
am
I?
I?
I know.
What's even happening
I know.
here? And
I
then the crash of the miscarriage was
totally.
like then immediately going into postpartum
Wow.
and the bleeding.
Yep.
I mean, I bled for at least a month and a half,
I remember
like
that.
significantly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, the difficulty of baby loss, and the hormone crash. I mean, that sneak preview into motherhood was humbling.
Yeah. It is big. And just out of curiosity, I mean, what would you say about how your practices, ceremonies, psychedelics, because that's what we're specifically talking about,
Mm.
how do you feel like they supported you in through that whole experience?
Hmm. Yeah, thanks for the question. I mean, it was hard.
Mm-hmm.
It was dark.
Yep. Yep.
No way around it.
Mm-hmm.
I was really, really sad.
Yeah.
And I think really this work has taught me just to be with that.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Like, let myself actually just be destroyed
Mm-hmm.
for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that really helps me is writing. So
Mm-hmm.
I did a lot of writing about it
Yep.
and I talked about it.
Yep.
I opened up,
Yeah.
and the amount of people who helped step forward to help me feel that I wasn't alone was really helpful.
Mm-hmm.
And because of the support of psychedelics too, I felt like, I can come forward with this because it's actually part of my dharma, my work in the world is to be open so that I can be seen, so that other people can see,
Mm-hmm.
and to be about it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I didn't need psychedelics
Mm-hmm.
for a while. I
Mm-hmm.
felt so high
Yeah.
from the hormone shifts. And we had a ceremony
Mm-hmm.
where we actually did take medicine. And I hadn't taken medicine in a while since I'd been pregnant. And then that was really supportive as a closing on the other end.
Mm.
And that was with MDMA.
Yeah.
And that was really helpful.
Yeah.
It was with, the apprentices.
Yeah.
And to be seen. And that was the first time I'd ever taken medicine with everybody. It was our
Mm-hmm.
final ceremony,
Yep.
all of us together.
Yeah.
And it just let me really be human. I
Mm.
remember bringing my underwear full of blood
Uh-huh.
down
Yep.
to the group and just said, can I be witnessed
Yeah.
in this
Mm-hmm.
release
Yep.
that is happening?
Yeah, the power of being witnessed. I mean, it's why the group ceremony and circles are just so powerful, so important. I was sharing with Eleanor that in this most recent pregnancy, I'm actually pregnant again,
Right
which
now.
is exciting. Yeah, with
Yes.
baby number two. And this pregnancy has really rocked me to the point where I would say clinically, I would have met the signs for depression. I mean, I was really dark. Everything was really gray, just not feeling myself. And similarly to what you said, I picked up a book called The Dark Nights of the Soul that really just reminded me to just be in it,
Mm-hmm.
to stop trying to distract
Mm-hmm.
and get out of it, to stop trying to make it go away faster, to just be in it and let myself be seen in it. That's when I really started opening up about really having a very challenging time this pregnancy. And what a challenge when it's supposed to be such a happy thing, and for you to then experience a loss and to just not be able to be in that celebration
Mm-hmm.
is really tough. And it feels, again, very isolating and very lonely.
Mm-hmm. It can.
It can. And yeah, to just allowing myself to be in it was exactly what I needed.
Yeah.
And the other thing too that I feel like, in this conversation about psychedelics that they really helped me with is trust.
Mm-hmm.
Trusting that I'm gonna come out on the other side at some point.
Mm-hmm.
In
It will
whatever way
end.
that looks like, it will
I
end.
always
Yes.
remind people of that.
In ceremony, it will end. And also that this is exactly where I'm meant to be. This is what's meant to be happening for whatever reason. This pregnancy was meant to be really hard for me, and I've even started thinking about it already that like the purpose in that was to remind myself how to be tender,
Mm-hmm.
to remind myself how to care for myself, to
Mm-hmm.
remind myself that it's okay to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
There are these really important learnings that come from these dark nights and these challenges.
Right. Oh
And
my God, all of them.
yeah,
Like almost all of them.
yes. I think all of them.
Right?
I would, yeah.
I mean, there can be learnings from the joyful times as well.
Yes, for
We
sure.
need both.
For
And I
sure.
think sometimes we can kind of like obsess about how the
Yeah.
dark ones are the ones that
Hmm.
are most beneficial. And the places where the hardest, most important, most critical things truly land tend to be really fucking hard,
Yeah. Yeah.
in my experience.
And motherhood brings up so many of those moments.
Right.
I mean, down to the tiny little things like leaving my son to come to a ceremony. I mean,
Every other month.
the every other month, the mom guilt that I felt the first time leaving him, I sobbed the entire ride from Littleton up to Boulder. It's an hour. Sobbed the whole way.
Hmm.
And then I got here and it was so what I needed. And I needed to be in this space of having time for me. But, it's like I know I'm doing something good for me. And yet I still feel guilty for leaving. And just the motherhood push, pull, the back, forth, the both and
Hmm.
is so tough. The joy of seeing your baby smile, the grief over, well, he's now two and the first smile is long gone. I mean, it's like there's just so much emotion and heaviness and joy and grief and all the things wrapped up into it
Right.
that having space, having connection to self, to one another, to something greater than me, I mean, it carries me through.
Hmm. Hmm. That's the thing too about the ceremony and the psychedelic work that we do, in our programs, like they are spiritual.
Super spiritual
And
without being attached to a religion.
right,
Yeah.
they're just connected to something greater. Like you
Yes.
said, like this spiritual. I think one of the reasons that we're so sick in the West is this disconnection from spirituality,
Yeah.
not religion.
Right.
It's that may I be of service for the highest and best good.
Mm-hmm.
That's a prayer I say all the time. Like, use me as an instrument of love.
Yeah.
May I start my days with that.
It's beautiful.
You know,
Yeah.
move through me. Because I don't know. I don't know who I am or what I'm doing or what this is all about.
Mm-hmm.
But I could be an instrument
Yeah.
for whatever highest and best good there is.
Yeah.
And I've learned that from the plants.
Yeah.
I've learned that from my parents
Mm-hmm.
and from my grandparents
Mm-hmm.
and from their grandparents
Right.
and so on. And so there is this level of spiritual reconnection that inevitably happens. Even for people who say, I don't know, or
Right.
there's just
Mm-hmm.
there's always there's like, yeah, but then all of a sudden you can see so much more than we've ever seen before with the
Right.
support
Right.
of psychedelics in a safe place.
Yes. And I think that is why I am so passionate about sharing this work with ceremony and or psychedelics. I mean, it doesn't have to be psychedelics, but for me, they were super, super important. But this work of being in ceremony is so important to me, and I feel that it's so important to mothers as well because we are the holders of so much.
Mm-hmm.
We're the carriers of tradition and life and all of these elements of life that create life.
Yeah.
And so being able to be connected to oneself, one another, love, something greater, the earth, it's like that to me, if we could all live that way, our life on earth would look so different.
Mm-hmm.
And as mothers, we really have the opportunity to lead in that way
Yes.
and set that as the tone in our families and set the values that are important to us and lead by example.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to share this work with others, and with mothers specifically.
And with mothers.
Yeah, it feels so important to mother differently than a lot of the ways in which we see it portrayed to us or have potentially seen from our own parents.
Right.
Not everybody had amazing mothers who showed them the way.
Right.
And so we've got to figure it out.
Right.
And through this study, I feel that this is one of the ways to really learn how to show up differently, to show up kind and loving, with patience, with curiosity, with compassion, with the
Trusting of yourself.
trusting of yourself, with these like higher self
Yes.
ways of being.
Yes. And one thing you had said that really resonated with me too is bring your maiden along.
Yeah.
Like there's so much that you learn from who you were before you were a mother, and may she still be a part of who you are as you're becoming
Yeah.
mother into crone,
Right.
into elder.
Right. Yeah, this transition, the archetypal transition that women go through from maiden to mother to crone, I also feel is deeply important for women to understand. That
Yes.
whether or not you birth a human,
Right.
maybe it's an idea or you create a family in some way or you're a mother to a pet. I mean, we go through this transition where we move from the maiden who is playful and silly and kind of selfish at times, like really cares about herself, to this mother archetype who tends to the earth, to her children, to others. And there's, and can kind of go to the dark side of like too much
Hmm.
people pleasing and caring for others, where you completely lose touch with the self.
Right.
And so, how do we mother in that balance while also calling in the maiden spirit when we need to play and be silly and fun and
Roll around on the ground with your kid.
dance and yeah, exactly. And make them laugh and right, all those things. And then also calling in the wisdom of the crone, who is the steward of the earth and the quiet one and the one who is connected. And how do we call that wisdom in as we mother as well? And so I just love this archetype and teach a lot about it in my offerings and groups, and
Yeah.
it's really important for us to understand.
And the other piece is the rites of passage
Yeah.
that this is. And what
Huge.
I see from you with psychedelics and without of you, I went to the first Mother's Way of
Yeah.
yours.
Yeah.
That was a lot of people do baby showers or baby
Right.
blessings, and you said, what about blessing the mother?
Exactly.
And we had such a
Uh,
beautiful ceremony. Everybody
yeah.
brought something to
Mhm.
add to the altar,
Which I had at my birth.
which you set up at your birth at home.
Yeah.
And and then we all wrote cards
Hmm.
saying, while you're giving birth, things that the doula could read to you.
Yes, I had them hanging on my wall. Words of inspiration from my closest women.
Yeah. And I see you seeing the need in our culture to help foster the ceremony
Mm.
from maiden to mother to crone too.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, we've talked about
I
that.
work a lot with older women
I know. How do
as
we honor
well.
that
How do we
transition?
honor the transition of no longer being fertile
Exactly.
and going into having menopause symptoms? And it's a whole other podcast we could
Yeah,
do.
I would love that.
Let us know if you want that one. But really, I see you, Kate, as seeing a need in your community and in our community and in your own life and doing something about it
Hmm.
and creating a program around this for the women in the community. And I'm really grateful to collaborate with you on that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we've got some ideas in the works
Hmm.
for how to really bring more ceremony to mothers, to bring psychedelic ceremony specifically, to talk about the maiden mother crone transition, to talk about how to be in the feminine
Hmm.
in a masculine world when motherhood is like the most feminine thing that we can do. Yet everyone is trying to masculinize it, to create my own word. I mean, it's like
Mm.
there's schedules that we should follow and do it this way and buy this guide and follow all this wisdom from others,
Mm.
as opposed to tuning in, slowing down, being in your feminine and nurturing your baby and
And listening to
trusting,
yourself.
listening to yourself, trusting that you have the wisdom within you to know how to care for your child
Right. And know how to ask for help.
and know how to ask for help. Yeah, after our first ceremony, I deleted Instagram over like a year and a half, 2 years ago. I mean, a long time ago.
Hmm.
And haven't looked back, because what I was getting pummeled with on Instagram was how to be a mother in a masculine way.
Mm.
And I didn't want to do it that way.
Right.
And I want to be present for my child. And, that's another thing that the meditation work has really opened up for me, is like, I know how to be present. I
Hmm.
know how to put my phone away and sit on the floor and play for 15,
Yes.
20, 30 minutes, an hour sometimes. I mean, just to be there
Right.
and to not miss these moments.
And look at your baby in the eyes and
Yeah.
have him make little recordings and singing happy birthday to
Yeah.
us.
We
That
love to do that.
you sent us that this week.
Yeah, we love to do that.
And we want, if you're listening to this and you felt touched, you felt called to hear more, to share your own experiences, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, if you want to connect in community, we're putting that together.
Yeah.
So let us
And we
know.
want to be putting it together. It's one of those things where this gets to be evolving and it's needed.
Yeah,
So we're making it.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was so necessary for me and really changed the first year of motherhood for me. Made it so much more intentional,
Hmm.
enjoyable. I said to you, one of my takeaways is that I'm doing my best to live life more as ceremony.
Yeah. Right. Life as
Life
ceremony.
as ceremony. And so being with my son in that and my partner and yeah, it's really changed everything for me and it would
And
be
your
such a
work.
gift and my work. Yeah, and it would be such a gift to share it. And so that is really what I want to be doing is sharing this.
And that's what we are doing.
Yeah,
And I'm so grateful that we get to do it together
me too.
and that we've had this amazing evolution
Mm-hmm.
of our lives
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
I'm so inspired by you as a mother, Kate.
Thank you.
You've really led such an incredible example
Mm.
of how to continue to be yourself and prioritize who
Mm-hmm.
you are as a mother while also handing your child to come be with us
Yeah.
without him
Mm-hmm.
and bring him
Mm-hmm.
sometimes
Yep.
and know when you need to go and take care of yourself.
Yeah.
I've never heard an excuse from you about motherhood. Like you really show up
Mm.
and you know you lead by incredible example and I'm grateful for that.
Thank you. Thank you. Mm.
Hope you enjoyed today's conversation. Sending you all love wherever you are. See you again.
Mhm. Thanks for listening.